As promised, a new episode of Cruzin with the Coaches, conversation with Julie and Lee. My, I always get it wrong. Co-host, got to point that way. Co-host Julie Cruz. I'm Lee Grigsby. Julie, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I always got something though. Always got something.
I know. I'm always like, oh Lord.
Well, and I'm sharing this with permission. So it I don't get a lot of uh one-to-one time with my daughter just because my schedule is all crazy and up and down,
Sure.
which is a precursor to what we're talking about.
Okay.
But conversation is crazy. She and I have actually talked about doing a podcast because our conversations are just kind of nuts. So um for not being just crass and rude or whatever, but as we all know, it's sometimes monthly women have certain things that happen. Okay.
Okay.
And so we Gen Z likes to rename things and have their own language. So we're in the car coming back from an appointment and said something. Oh yeah, this is Shark Week. It's like, let's say, wait, what? No, that's not on Discovery.
Oh my goodness.
So of
Oh
course, of
my.
course, I gotta. If we're gonna go there, we go all the way, right? We go
Yeah.
all in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I mean, I know what we talked about when we were growing up, but so what do y'all? What else do y'all call that, right? And so I am just putting the disclaimer, you guys. I'm sorry for the visual you're about to get.
Oh no.
She was like, "Well, it's been referred to as an exploding volcano." I was like, "I'm traumatized. I don't know if I can. I, I can't. I can't. I'm
They are
done."
too honest though. Oh my Lord. Way too honest. You're just like,
I
really?
mean, and I'll take it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but I was like, "Oh, Shark Week. All right, that's dope. I get it. I get it." But the whole exploding volcano, I was like, "Yeah, I don't need that visual. I'm trying to erase that." So for
Oh,
anyone who's watching, if you got teenager, talk to them. I'm just saying, talk to them.
oh,
Let
it's
them
hilarious. Yes.
speak with
Yes.
no filter. You'll learn a lot, and you'll
Yep.
learn you have limits too.
Yep. Yep. I will tell you, my daughters are pretty prepared for a 12-year-old boy. They're like, wow, like you are sharing just way too much information with us right now, and we don't even know what to do with it. But I mean,
What are you
hey,
gonna do? What are
I'd
you gonna
rather
do,
be
right?
open than have them calling me like, Mom, my son is doing this. I don't understand. And blah, blah, blah. Like, no, no. Remember, we
Right.
talked about this. Remember your brother told us about this?
Like, oh, yeah, it's your
Oh,
turn now.
exactly. But yeah, we share way too much. I'm just laughing like, wow. Like, can we
Yeah.
go back to like boundaries, guys? Because wow, like this is too much. Too much.
You're like, I don't have the capacity for that. Like,
No.
wait a minute. No, yeah.
No. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, you can keep
But
that to yourself.
like I said, I'll take advantage of the time, and I'll poke the bear a little bit, and then that's what I get: exploding volcano.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yes. And then you're like, yeah, never mind.
I I should have kept my mouth shut.
Exactly. But
No, it's
better
all
sure to
good.
be able to just talk to you, it's just so much better.
100%. Because
Yeah.
I did say, I was like, so who do you actually share these thoughts with, right? Like, who?
Yeah.
She was like, nobody. I was like, hmm. I
Thanks. I feel privileged.
I did say that. She was like, you should be honored. I was like, I am.
Yes,
Trust
I am
me, I
honored.
am.
I'm honored. Exactly. That's how we need to look at it. Facts.
Oh, a club of one. A club of one.
Yep. Because I've had the same conversation with my son, and he's like, I'm like, who else do you say these things to? And he's like, just you. And I'm like, thanks. Like,
You're like, yay.
yay, yay me. But I mean, I appreciate it for
You
sure.
would you couldn't have it any other way. That's for
No,
sure. That's for
no,
sure.
facts.
but that rolls us right into the topic for this episode. When I mentioned my schedule, right? It's all, well,
Yes.
as just trying to get our dates together to
Life.
to
Yes.
doing shows.
Yes.
Work life balance. That is a thing that we all kind of look for, right? We all kind of strive for.
Right.
Well, there's a new kind of lifestyle. It's called the pendulum lifestyle. So let's dive into that a little bit and the guy who came up with it. So this pendulum lifestyle, this was, I guess, developed by Professor Jeff Karp. He's and crazy that he's a biomedical engineer, right, at Harvard and school in MIT. But he used his scientific background to liken the movements of a pendulum with the ebbs and flows of life. So that's where he kind of came about with this pendulum lifestyle. All right. So in his words, we hear these things from others like trust the process or balance is so important. We need more balance. Balance is like the ultimate goal. And what happens is it ends up being frustrating and it can lead to things like anxiety because we're always striving for this balance. We're feeling like we're not balanced, though. We're always unbalanced. And it's a state that we feel like we're never going to get to, but that we should be in, you know? Um, and so he noticed with his own life that he was always trying his best, always doing the things, but always having balance in his life just was not sustainable. And so Professor Karp says, I realized that if we start to look at everything in life like our energy levels, our motivation, our hunger, our sleep, everything is on a pendulum. So if you step back and you visualize that, it can be incredibly empowering. Like the pendulum, there are natural rhythms in life. So, anything that you'd like to, and any thoughts on the pendulum lifestyle? Because we are both working parents, working adults.
Yeah.
I think we know a thing or two about this whole teetering and work life balance. So,
And I
you,
think where people get a little caught up in the balance pieces, it's not, okay, so I can spend 6 hours doing this. I should be spending 6 hours doing that. That's not how it works. You know what I mean? It's more like
yeah.
look at it more like there's 30 days in a month, and so
Mm,
how much of that time am I going to give to what I need to personally do, what I need
sure.
to do professionally, and like however way that swings, you'll figure it out. But you can't do all these days and or hours of your personal, oh, I'm like hanging out with my friends, I'm getting reacquainted and what have you, and then not understand,
Mhm.
what, everything at work's falling apart. I'm not really sure like why that's not
Someone will do it.
happening.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah,
get taken
someone will
care
figure
of.
it out. But I mean, I would have to say being raised in a household where you did what you had to do
Mhm.
before you could do what you want to do, and having
Ooh,
that
good one.
mentality of
Mhm.
understanding, like, okay, as much as I want to do that, I need to get this done first, and that's where you
Priorities.
realize,
Yeah.
yes, but then you
Mhm.
realize, you know what? This could wait till Monday. Like but there are certain things that
Yeah,
you can't. Like I can definitely this can wait till Monday. This is me just putting
sure.
pressure on myself to get it done
For
when
no
I can.
reason, yeah. Or
Exactly.
or the like I like to say there's negotiables and there's non-negotiables, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
We know some non-negotiables, like we've gotta take care of our health, so we're both in that mindset of, "Okay, I can't, I can't negotiate
Right.
my gym time," or that's not a negotiable, I can't do that.
Yes. Yes.
But,
Yes.
okay, the dishes can go till tomorrow, or the
But
laundry.
can they?
Oh, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, they can go to
But
tomorrow, the
can they?
next day, the next oh, wait.
Not
But,
in
yeah,
my house, but okay.
everybody's got their own negotiables and non-negotiables.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
But you were talking about, like, balance as far as the month, right?
Yes.
Well, and before I started coaching and all these things that were in addition to full-time job, right? I used to plan things, different events a year out because in television, like you had to get your time in or you weren't going to get it, right?
Right, right.
But then I've started realizing with all these other things, um, now it's like the balance is, well, what does this week look like, right?
Mhm.
Do I have a client here? Is there a session here? When does my full time mix into that? So what does the balancing for me look like with that week? Because
Right.
the next week might be different. And then the third
Yes.
week might be different than that.
Yes.
So that's what balance looks like for me. But again, like you said too, everything is not balance doesn't mean equal, right?
Right.
Balance is not this. Sometimes it tilts this way. Balance is not falling off. let's
Exactly.
let's just say
Exactly.
that. It's not
Yes.
falling
Yes.
off. Folks, that's why they call them balance bikes. You ever seen the little kids on the bikes with their feet and they're going like this? There's no pedals. They call
Yeah.
it balance bikes for a reason because they don't fall off. That's why it's called balance, you know?
So another thing though that I tell people is to
Hmm.
have a day in the week where you schedule nothing. If it's at all possible, have
Hmm.
a day during the week where you schedule nothing at all because that is your catch up day. That is either your catch up day to whatever it is that you were missing or kept trying to be on top of, kept trying to be on top of it and you
Sure.
couldn't.
Sure.
Or it could end up being a completely free day because you got nothing going on and you got everything done. And so it's a bonus day is how I
Yep.
look at it. And
Your binge day, your do
oh,
nothing day, your no shower shave day. Oh, did I
I
give too
call it no
much away?
pants day, but you can call it. The kids are always like, "Mom, are you gonna put pants on today?" I'm like,
And I
"Nope,
mm-mm, ain't happening.
not
It
today."
is did you not see the calendar? No. That's
Like, it's no pants day, guys. I don't know. They always know. They're like, "Oh, mom ain't doing nothing today."
then they're like, all right, we'll see you in several hours. We're
Exactly. They're like, "We're out. Forget it. We're out of here." But yeah,
but
no.
I get it. But then you gotta and like you said, having that day, which come far and few between for me, by the
Mhm.
way. But when I do, that's what it becomes. It's like, you know what? I'm whether I sleep in or not, okay, but I purposely do not open the laptop or purposely scroll through social media because I don't do that most other times, you know?
Yes. Yes.
So that's a decompression day, if you will.
Correct.
Um, but yeah, I can get down with what he was saying with Professor Karp talking about, it can become it can build anxiety, right? You're always trying to reach this unattainable state, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And even now, I think about my current schedule. I know that it's not sustainable. And so
Okay.
that I know that it's for a short time because I'm not trying
Yes.
to do this for the rest of my life, not in
Yes.
this way.
Yeah.
And I purposely chose it because I know there's an end date to it. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing too. You can choose a little bit of unbalanced instability if
Correct.
you have an exit plan, you know?
Right. Because if you've already depending on how long you've been in your career, you know the rhythm of what your career does. You just do.
Correct. Mhm.
It's the fall, it's about to get crazy, or, like, my friends, they know, like, when it comes to our gala, like, I'm like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, I'm
I'll talk to you
not
in a month.
reachable. I'll talk to you in 2 months." 2 months. I need after Christmas, I'll talk to you mid-February. But
Yep.
it's just kinda like they understand that, and it's just like, you
Yeah.
know, having that understanding and just, "Hey, it's not you, it's absolutely me. I promise, I promise. We'll figure this out."
So when you guys see me hosting solo from no, I'm kidding, guys,
Yes,
kidding,
after
kidding.
December. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll put your picture up, and then that
Yeah,
way you'll still be co-hosting.
there
That's
you go. There you go.
so why don't we take a break? Um, because I'd love to dive into Professor Cart broke down about 5 things that you can do to really start to understand this pendulum lifestyle. So let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll go over the 5 things that you can do. All right, y'all. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back from the break. Um, as you've heard, we've been talking about the work-life balance, but from a new perspective, something called the pendulum lifestyle. So there are five things that Professor Karp kind of laid out for us to kind of practice this pendulum lifestyle. Ready for them, Julie?
Yep.
All right, let's go. These are the things that you can kind of practice to use the ebb and flows of life to your benefit. So, the first one is mindfully observe what's happening. Take a closer look at how your practices throughout the day might be affecting the situation. Then make positive adjustments that can better support what you're doing. Any thoughts before we move on to the second one, or you want to recap when we're all done with the five?
I mean, we can go as I think we should go as we go along. So, like with this,
Okay.
like as far as recognizing what you're doing well, as much
Hmm.
as you're recognizing what you're not doing well. Because I think people get really hung up on, again, like I suck. I'm the worst human in the world. I couldn't do this. I planned on doing this, and I didn't get anything
Hmm.
accomplished.
Yep.
And just concentrating and understanding, giving yourself some grace, especially when you're just doing this for the very first time,
Sure.
everything's not going
Sure.
to just be perfect.
I agree with you 100%. I'm actually training a new employee at the full time job, and that's very similar.
Hmm.
Where I've been there 16, 17 years. He's trying to have all of the same information and recall it the same way that I do. And I
Right.
keep telling him, "You've been here for 3 weeks."
Right. It's not
That's
going to
not
happen. It's
no,
not.
not even the
No.
same thing. Not at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
But give it and I also, like, having been training him, found out some things that's going on in personal life
Hmm.
that makes sense, that there's only so much capacity to train with something new
Yes.
because, like, life is lifing.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, but I'm glad we had the conversation because now I know what you can and cannot do. You
Right.
know, I know how far to push every week. So, yeah, being mindful and making the positive choices that help you,
Correct.
because
Correct.
it's so easy to look at what you're not doing and what you
Right.
can't do.
Right.
Look at what you are doing for
Yeah.
sure.
Because you can't start out defeated because you're not going to get anywhere.
It doesn't work that way
Yeah.
at all. The next one is take or number two. Take note of your natural energy patterns. So identify the times of day, days of the week, or seasons during the year, excuse me, when you have the highest and lowest energy levels. Adjust your schedule to factor in those times for increased productivity and periods of rest.
Mhm.
I think that's important. Um, the one that I'm learning is incorporating the periods of rest,
Okay.
because again, with the whole coaching thing for me,
Mhm.
um, I try to be not well, no, not try. I'm as present as I can be with each coaching session, with each workshop, right? With each
Mhm.
client.
Mhm.
And so that requires this energy expenditure if I'm being myself and if I'm doing it right.
Right, right.
So I've got to recharge, and naps are your friend.
I can't do naps. I
And
can't do them. I wish I could. I can't.
naps are your friend. At least, I never thought about it in that way. I used to feel like, oh man, I got stuff to do, but
Yes.
I'm really tired. I need to take a nap. Well,
Yeah.
now I understand the natural rhythm of after I'm coaching something or after I'm doing
Yes.
something,
Yes.
there's a need for me to recharge. So if I can take a nap, I will. There's times when I can't,
Yeah.
but I will if I can, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, because you want to be authentic with every person who you're engaging. I mean, that's just
Absolutely.
the reality of it all. So,
Yep.
I mean, I often tell people, are you a morning person or are you a night owl? Like, so, like, let's figure out when's the best time to charge because
Hmm.
if you're not charging at what is the appropriate time, it's not going to do anything for you.
It won't
Like,
be any good.
it won't be any good. I'm sorry, but that is the reality. So,
Yep.
based on your personality, based on what you do professionally, like when
Absolutely.
is the best time of the day? Is it's so
Gotta
important.
It's something key to learn for sure.
Yes, yes.
Very key. Number 3 is be curious and develop an interest in the difficult periods and what you see you can learn from them. Be open to new experiences that may increase your resilience. So I think that's critical too.
Hmm.
Um, we've kind of talked about this before on the show when I've mentioned the mistakes that I made in business, right? In starting this whole coaching business, I could have easily folded it up and been like, "Man, I tried it, didn't work, let it go."
Right.
But I wasn't really curious. I was like, "Well, that didn't work. Now I gotta get out of that." But learning from it,
Right.
and then now doing it in a way that I'm using those lessons to build it better, right?
Mhm.
And build it in a way that is sustainable and not repeating those mistakes or I didn't learn anything, right?
Right. Right.
So no discounts, no deep discounts.
No, yeah, no deep discounts.
Yeah. I mean, maybe $5, $10 off, but hey, who's counting? But yeah, being curious about that. That's and learning something. You don't want
Yes.
to repeat the mistake.
Right. Right.
The number 4 is understand that the pendulum swings one way, and that means it's going to swing back the other way. So with every down, an up is likely right around the corner. Remember that change is the only constant. So, I mean, that's a nice way of putting it, but
Right.
I would have said with every up, there's also a down, right?
Because that's what I was like. That's how I'm thinking, and I can honestly say to you that, and I know this is horrible coming, as we're
From us.
coaching, but I am, and I embrace it because I know it's who I am. If
Mhm.
things are going too good, I'm always waiting. I'm like, and even
Waiting for
if
the
they
other shoe to drop. Yeah.
yes, and so, like, even if it's getting better, and it's still
Yeah.
getting better, and it's still get then I'm like, "Damn, when it goes down, it's about to go down, like, what the hell?" Like, I try
Yeah.
it's like, I I I have a hard time being happy, I can tell you that, like, I can honestly I own it, I embrace it, but I don't like that about myself. It's like, oh my gosh, I would love to change it, but I can't. I can't. The happier I am, I'm just like, man, shit's about to go down.
Well, here's the thing, right? This is real time. You're also being curious about
Yes.
it, right?
Yeah.
So, as we've said in other episodes too, awareness. So you're aware of it. It's something that you work through and you work on, but you know it's there, right?
Yes.
Waiting for
Yes.
the other, and man, I'm with you. It's like, all right, this has been a week,
This has
2
been
weeks,
too good.
months. You're
Yeah.
like the other
Oh,
shoe, and you start doing this. You're like, where's the where,
like, where's the
where
where's the drama or whatever is gonna happen? Like, like, ugh.
yeah, but also so with this pendulum theory, right? That's cool. It swings one way. We know that,
Mhm.
but it's gonna swing back,
It's
right?
going to.
And, and then it's gonna swing back again.
Yes.
So that, like, there is an ebb and flow to it,
Yes.
and if you recognize that, then you get to work with that. It
Yes.
doesn't become like a handicap. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
You
And
can work with
sometimes
it.
when that shoe does fall, it's just kinda like, "Oh, that's all?" Like,
You're
okay,
you're
like,
prepared for it. You're
yes,
prepared.
yes,
Totally.
yes. Let that's our
We
story. That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
everybody's like click, click, click. All right,
Right?
no, they're
Yeah.
talking about yeah, they're supposed to be they're coaching? What?
Hey,
But
I'm
we're
just
keeping it
honest.
but we're
Yeah, I'm
keeping it
just
real.
honest.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It is okay. It reminds me of this statement about being positive, right? Or
Mhm.
the positive thinking. It doesn't mean that nothing's going to happen, right?
Right. Right.
Like the negative shit happens.
Right.
Whether it's in your control or not, it
Right.
happens.
It's, can you find
Being
the blessing? Can
and
you
being
see the
positive
silver
means you
lining?
don't you
Yes.
don't dwell in it.
Yes. Yes.
That's what being positive is. So when that other shoe drops, when the pendulum swings, okay, well, I'm not going to dwell on the fact that the pendulum swung over here because I
Right.
know it's going to come back at
Mhm.
at some point. I don't know when, but I know
Right.
it's going to come back over. So
Right.
you don't dwell on it and you keep moving. You know,
Yep.
that's the thing. Yeah. See, I brought it back. There you go. I got
Ah!
you. I got you. All right. And number five, I believe this is number five. Number five is have regular self check ins.
Mhm.
So think about what's occurring in your life on a larger scale and what may be causing you to feel that imbalance. Decide which small steps you're going to take to improve things over time. So that's kind of what we were just talking about, right?
Mhm.
Like we know that other shoe's going to drop. So when it does, and like you said, when it drops, you're like, oh, that's all. That's that check in. You're like,
Right.
hmm, okay. Now
Yes.
that it dropped, what action, what one thing can I do or do I want to do? And maybe it's take a nap. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's me. That's me. But
Well, and uh, to
go
bring
for it.
it full circle, what you were saying earlier about your
Mhm,
daughter, like
mhm.
with me, sometimes I'm like in a fog and I can't figure out, like, whoa, like what's going. Of course, I have the opposite problem of what your daughter has, but I'm but like, perimenopause is just, it is no
It-
joke.
I've
And
I've heard, I've
yeah.
heard, I've
So,
heard. Yeah.
but again, checking in and realizing, like, oh, this is why I'm in a fog. This is why I'm feeling
Mhm.
tired, or this is why. Now, that is when I do take naps. I will tell you that. I will take a nap. I'd be lying if I said I don't. It's not a
Nice.
nap so much as I fall asleep wherever I am, and I didn't mean to. But just, yeah, just that check-in
Yeah.
and understanding my body is doing this, and this is
Mhm.
why I'm responding this way, or why I can't focus. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's something to be said for I was reading an article and this kind of ties in to that check-in. Well, whether it's the teenagers going through puberty
Mhm.
or women going through it's perimenopause, that
Perimenopause. Mhm.
or pregnancy. This happens during pregnancy too, where um this lady who was pregnant was getting brain scans, right, of the brain activity,
Mhm.
and it's just the most awkward thing. They said that the gray matter shrunk, right?
Oh,
Like as in like you're losing some brain functionality, if you will.
yeah.
And that makes sense, but the brain and how they described it was the brain's becoming more efficient, right?
Okay.
So it's getting rid of the extra stuff it doesn't need. And I'm sure some of that for at least a pregnant woman is going to the baby, right?
Right.
But I think at each stage. So, if it's similar in teens, it's shedding all of this stuff or it's creating the new gray matter in a more efficient way as they become closer to adults, right?
Yeah.
Same thing, I'm guessing, for women going through menopause, premenopause, perimenopause. The
Mhm.
gray matter is changing, whether it's,
Yes.
I haven't read any articles about the gray matter shrinking, but it could be something similar, right? To
Oh, I'm
where
sure.
the brain is becoming more efficient for this next stage of whatever it's doing, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So having the check in and trusting that, oh, yeah, there is something going on. It's not,
But you look at the date and you're like, "Oh, well, that makes sense now." Because like, literally, like, I'm sitting here talking to someone, I'm like,
yeah,
"I don't know any what did you just huh?" Like, I'm not saying it out loud, but I'm thinking it to myself, like,
right, right.
"I cannot understand a word this person is saying." And
You're
it's
trying to
literally
refocus.
yeah, because my head is going, "What? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh my god." Like, "Stop it, stop." Now I look at the date and I'm like, "Oh,
Oh.
that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
we're good."
Well, in all fairness, my daughter was prepared for the Shark Week. So there
Yeah.
you go.
I mean, I will say that is the handy dandy thing with having a Fitbit because it keeps track of what should be, I guess. Um,
Right?
but but your body still goes through all the same motions even though it's not the case. It's just kinda like,
Mhm. It
yeah.
well, you know what's funny being, Weight Watchers coach as well, and, most of the members are women, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And we have these conversations sometimes, and it's funny because I don't wanna say they forget, but they've accepted, like, all the workshops I do, they know me, right? They're used to me
right.
now.
Yeah,
And so we have these in-depth conversations, how it revolves around the health journey and the perimenopause. And they were given tips, and it was hilarious because I'm just sitting there like this. And someone was like, yeah, ladies, I forgot she said, like, go to the gym or do something, get your activity in, right? And I was like, I promise I will get my activity in when I'm going through perimenopause. And they all cracked up. They were like, oh yeah, we forgot he was here. But again, like, I'm grown, like, I know these things,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's a thing.
yeah.
So, like, I mean, that's the check-in, right?
Right.
Being able to recognize it, understand it, and work with it. I think so
Yeah.
many times we fight against ourselves with, "We should be doing this.
Yep.
Why am I not doing this?"
You
Right?
gotta do what naturally comes to you, or you're
It's
just
man,
gonna
the
yeah.
pendulum, man. It's well, wait, I feel like I'm smacking myself right here. But the pendulum swings and
Correct.
understanding it comes all the way back around.
Mhm.
So, be prepared for that and you're good.
Yep.
So, any last thoughts on the pendulum lifestyle?
I mean, just like we said, you've gotta figure out when your energy is are you a morning person or are you a night person? When does it make more sense for you to do what you gotta do and then have time to do what
Absolutely.
you wanna do? So,
Get
yeah.
what you got to get done first.
Yes.
Well, you folks, let me go ahead and put our link up here. I almost put the wrong one. Don't want to do that. But thank you all for watching and hanging out with us with our shenanigans on another episode of Cruising with the Coaches. You can find us right there at the YouTube link. Man, go ahead and like it, subscribe, and also put the alerts on so you can get our new content whenever we drop new content. So until next time, Lee and Julie signing off.